This video is brought to you by Brilliant, the premier interactive platform for mastering mathematics and scientific concepts. For countless millennia, they remained in suspended animation, locked in dreamless slumber. Then, without warning, consciousness began to stir within each dormant form. Each individual found themselves encased within a translucent containment unit, immersed in amber-tinted fluid that had sustained them through eons of sleep. Nutrient delivery systems connected directly to their bodies while filtered light penetrated the chamber walls with an ethereal glow. Confusion overwhelmed their awakening minds. Distressed cries emanated from every pod as panic set in. They clawed and pounded against their confines until the barriers finally gave way, spilling them into an environment that felt simultaneously recognizable and utterly alien. Before them stretched an enormous facility constructed primarily of metallic frameworks, though much of the surface bore coverings of various composite materials. The architecture featured multiple tiers connected by expansive corridors that divided the space into specialized compartments. Complete solitude surrounded them. Through observation ports, they gazed into infinite blackness, punctuated only by distant celestial bodies drifting slowly across their field of vision. The realization dawned that they were traveling through the void of space, but their destination remained a mystery. Their community consisted of exactly 100 individuals, 50 men and 50 women representing diverse physical characteristics and personality types. Remarkably, they all possessed equivalent linguistic abilities and cognitive functions upon awakening. They shared fundamental knowledge about their existence as conscious beings inhabiting physical forms, understanding how to utilize their bodies and minds, despite requiring considerable experimentation and creative problem-solving. Their exploration revealed the structure's immense scale and sophisticated design. The metallic foundation supported various environmental chambers, each maintaining distinct atmospheric conditions and self-contained biological systems. These sections housed water sources, vegetation, and animal life forms. The inhabitants eventually designated their environment as the space station. However, the extended period of unconsciousness had left their memories fragmented and unreliable. Dreams and reality had become indistinguishable, leaving them without clear recollection of their origins or intended purpose. They felt as though crucial information should be accessible to them, yet it remained frustratingly elusive. In the absence of concrete answers, the community began developing explanatory narratives based on incomplete recollections. Multiple theories emerged regarding their background, mission, and ultimate fate. The prevailing consensus attributed their circumstances to divine intervention. They believed supernatural beings had chosen them for this journey and placed them aboard the vessel. According to this emerging belief system, their role was to demonstrate obedience to these higher powers, ensuring the station's continued operation and forward progress. As time progressed, this foundational concept evolved and fragmented into numerous variations. Some residents embraced monotheistic interpretations, concluding that a single deity required their faith and compliance. They believed following predetermined protocols and automated systems would earn divine favor and eventually lead them to their promised destination, where all mysteries would be resolved. Years accumulated into decades as social hierarchies developed throughout the station. New generations were born. Families established roots, and entire lifetimes passed without reaching any apparent destination. The mounting questions began overwhelming their existing belief structures. During one of their regular community assemblies in the central meeting area, Mayat gatherings, designed to address concerns, share updates, and discuss collective hopes, Mayat Hassix, a young woman courageously challenged their fundamental assumptions. Why did our awakening occur at this particular moment, if we have nowhere to go, and nothing meaningful to accomplish? She questioned. If divine providence placed us here and programmed our guidance systems, what purpose does our suffering serve? Why would we be conscious only to endure generations of illness, conflict, death, and loss? Why experience this constant fluctuation between tedium and anxiety, this profound sense of cosmic abandonment in an endless darkness, where we remain utterly alone and confined? Her words were met with prolonged silence, as no one could provide satisfactory responses to these fundamental challenges. The community became consumed by these doubts, and began systematically dismantling their environment in search of answers. They examined every component, mechanism, and system within the station, driven by desperate curiosity. Through years of intensive investigation, they achieved comprehensive understanding of the facility's operational principles and engineering. Yet this mechanical knowledge failed to provide the deeper meaning they sought. Understanding how their situation functioned brought them no closer to comprehending why it existed. The entire system appeared coldly mechanical and impersonal. During another community meeting, a 20-year-old individual named Niall made a profound declaration: "There is no divine presence here. We have eliminated that possibility through our investigations. If our destination is unknown or non-existent, if we're traveling nowhere meaningful, or even if we are heading somewhere for reasons completely unrelated to our welfare, why should we continue this existence? Why perpetuate this cycle by bringing more people into this predicament? Why persist in striving, suffering, and struggling? Why not simply end it all now?" Another extended silence followed until an unexpected voice emerged from the crowd. Lux, a man in his 50s, who had been instrumental in maintaining the station's social and political frameworks, stepped forward. He had established one of the largest families aboard the station and commanded widespread respect, though he typically remained quiet during discussions. His decision to speak commanded everyone's complete attention. "Perhaps," Lux began thoughtfully, "we were simply placed here by some entity or force to perpetuate life throughout the cosmos, to survive and continue existing." "But for what purpose?" Niall interrupted impatiently. "Certainly there must have been some rationale," Lux continued. "But reasoning in terms of causation differs fundamentally from the type of purpose you're seeking. The kind we've all been searching for. Maybe that particular type of meaning is simply beyond our reach, and we've been pursuing the wrong kind of answer entirely." He paused, considering his words carefully. Perhaps the question shouldn't be for what reason, or where are we headed, but rather, how do we create meaningful existence without any predetermined purpose? In all probability, we are indeed drifting aimlessly through space. Our autopilot system represents no conscious guidance whatsoever. We have no knowledge of our destination or the reasoning behind our journey. We appear to have been placed here by someone or something we cannot remember or contact. Maybe this entity once cared about our welfare, maybe it didn't. Perhaps it cared but lacked better options. Regardless, it doesn't seem to know us now, and we may never understand its nature or intentions. Maybe we awakened too early or too late. Maybe it expected us to retain memories or knowledge we don't possess. Maybe it was equally ignorant of the answers we seek. But observe what surrounds us, the remarkable design of this vessel and our community. Maybe our creator wasn't divine, but achieved something genuinely impressive nonetheless. We have established social bonds and organizational structures, formed families and friendships. We have demonstrated the capacity to create, to love, to find joy, to experience wonder and maintain hope, all through our own efforts and choices. And every day, the stars visible through our windows continue to sparkle with beauty and mystery that returns us to that sense of awe we experienced during our first moments of consciousness. Perhaps we need to hope for something different to motivate our continuation, but we don't require anything external to justify our existence itself. This video is sponsored by Brilliant, the interactive learning platform that transforms how people understand mathematics and science. Consider Samuel, who from childhood possessed intense curiosity about how complex systems operate. He was fascinated by major scientific and technological concepts, but both within academic settings and beyond, he struggled with maintaining focus and engagement in traditional learning environments. As Samuel entered adulthood, he aspired to pursue computer science professionally, but felt disadvantaged by his learning difficulties. Then, at 20 years old, everything transformed dramatically. Within just 6 months, Samuel acquired more knowledge about computer science, technology, and scientific principles than he had accumulated throughout his entire previous education. He mastered fundamental concepts underlying artificial intelligence, neural network architecture, and machine learning algorithms while developing strong programming proficiency. Samuel achieved this breakthrough by utilizing Brilliant.org, which provided exactly what his learning style required: interactive engagement, visualization tools, and hands-on problem-solving opportunities that made complex information accessible and engaging. Brilliant eliminates learning barriers by offering interactive courses in mathematics, science, and computer science that help students like Samuel overcome traditional educational obstacles and excel in technology-focused careers. Samuel, quote, C. Preferred course was Introduction to Neural Networks, where he explored the fascinating mechanisms by which neural networks function through interactive games, challenging puzzles, and visualization simulations that demonstrate how computers process visual information, acquire knowledge, and make predictions. He also valued the scientific thinking course, which helped him develop deeper, more systematic approaches to understanding the world from a rigorous scientific perspective. Samuel's experience reflects a broader pattern. If you also want to understand and excel in subjects that shape our comprehension of the world and civilization's future through enjoyable, interactive, and effective methods, Brilliant is designed for you as well. Visit brilliant.org/pursuit of wonder, or click the link in the description to begin your complimentary 30-day trial. The first 200 people who sign up will receive 20% off their annual premium membership. As always, thank you tremendously for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.